What? Give me that. Oh my God. What? I can't do that. I can't do that. How is there light and shade?
Oh, I'm wearing the same clothes as last week, Scott.
Yeah, do you know what? It's funny because I thought I'd wear the same clothes as last week as well, Chris.
Have I been crying? No.
No.
It's just hay fever.
I am as well, actually.
Hay
I've got a
fever.
bit of hay fever.
No one bloody see you. Oh, they did actually. Yeah, true. Well, actually, we can see you now on your little computer.
Yeah. There's Joe Kinch.
There's Joe Kinch.
Also wearing the same clothes as last week.
There's Joe Kinch. He works for the car specialist. That's Joe Cinch.
Did we do Joe Kinch?
I think so.
Have we done you?
I don't think we can say that.
I remember-
I don't think we can say that on the
No,
podcast.
Lynch.
Lynch.
Same rhymes.
No, yeah,
Yes,
no,
'cause I
you
used
use
Kinch.
Yeah.
Because he'll come up for J and then you for S. Because Robinson.
No, that's not going to work, is it?
Scott from 5. He's Scott from Live. He's Scott from Dive. That could work.
Oh, wow. It's not a fucking name.
Well, I presumed because mine last week was Chris Brooks that we were all going to get one.
Maybe.
Which I'm going to listen to the one we did for whoever we did for. Who was the Kinch?
Lynch. It was...
Bet Lynch.
Bet
The
Lynch.
barmaid from Corrie.
Yeah.
Can I have your cards, please?
Yes.
No, the cycling and all, you know.
How many
Hey, girl. Come around
Yeah, so
the door.
YouTuber's already on.
Oh, I'm singing Craig David.
That's all right. It's good. Good singing. We're literally rolling from last week straight into a new one because I'm going to Spain.
Yay!
Yes. Now. No, I think when this dropped, this is D, isn't it?
Yeah.
No, I'm back now.
Oh,
shit.
Did you have a good time?
Yeah, it was really good. Shit, yeah, no, I will, won't I? Because C
you
will
get
go
pi-
out.
what
C
night
will
did
go
you get
out on
pissed?
Monday. All the things of him putting up on YouTube and me crying, I'll be in Spain.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
won't even know.
Yeah. Excellent.
And I'll just have people going, "Oh, mate, you okay?" And I'll be like,
I'm fucking
"Yeah, I'm in
fine, mate.
Spain."
I'm pissed.
Espresso martini, man. I'm more than okay.
But then I'll be back on the Thursday next week. So so when this episode drops, I'll actually be back. It's just I won't have time to record it.
Yeah.
We're ready to go.
Okay, well, I'm ready as well, apart from the fact I'm eating.
We don't have to do a sound check because, funny enough, everything's exactly the same as last week. Like nothing's moved at all.
I finally got rid of my cold.
Yeah, I know you said. That's amazing, isn't it? Because you had it for a while, and then you've only just realised you got rid of it.
Yeah.
What,
Like-
since episode C you've got
No,
rid
in
of
the
it?
in the last must have been day or 2 days. I've not had it, which is great.
I'm always phlegmy this time of year because
Yeah, I'm
get
phlegmy,
hay
but
fever.
nothing like I was.
The hay fever. It really affects me. It affects my voice, which is a little bit of a hazard in the old line of work.
Yeah,
the old
yeah.
talking and that. And weirdly, if I sing, it's not there because when you sing, you use more reflection. But when you're talking on the radio and just doing the travel, you can't go. And the A127's very busy.
I've got a great idea for
Go
you.
on.
Why don't you sing the
Sing
radio?
the travel.
No, sing the whole show.
Sing the whole show.
So, like,
There's Craig David. But he'll just think I'm taking the piss.
no. You're going out of Bruno Mars.
Yeah.
You're talking about then do the number, like then do a number, and then go into Celine Dion. Go.
Bruno Mars and number 32 in the UK Hot 40 now. Celine Dion. 21.
Really good. Really, you should do that.
Yeah.
Honestly, I'd never
You never turned the radio off.
Never turn it off.
Okay, Joe, you ready?
Yes.
Welcome to the A to Z of Men, episode D. It's
I'm
Chris
Chris.
and Scott. No, I say that bit. I'm Chris.
I'm Scott.
And we are Chris and Scott, as you've probably worked out from pictures and that.
Lots of pictures. Quite self-indulgent.
It is a little bit, yeah.
I mean,
what are you saying?
Hang on, but so if you're on YouTube now, there's just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
We changed the mic covers though.
9, 10, 11,
all those
12, 13,
pictures.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19,
Yeah.
20, 22, 23. 23 times we're
We have to explain to people as well if they come to our studio because we do quite a lot of work from here as well, from the radio show and stuff like that. So we have to explain to people this isn't like some weird fan site. This is where we do our podcast. I mean, we've got more pictures of Scott here than the average 14-year-old in the 90s.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, this is Scott from 5 with his biggest fan.
Yeah. I do look like I'm on a competition.
You do.
Especially in that one.
And that
this
one.
is our main picture. I've
Yeah.
never noticed that. Oh, can you not see that one? On the
No,
camera?
that's
there.
a different picture, isn't it?
No, it's not. That is our A to the Men picture.
Oh, it is.
It's
it
just
is.
cropped. I never realised
Yeah,
that.
it is.
And that's when we were going to do parenting.
Parenting.
That was a great picture shoot.
Where was that wonderful picture taken as well?
At a studio.
Outside of a...
Oh, no, this one was taken outside the toilet.
Yeah. Toilet.
Yeah.
That's
Anyway.
only working for you if you're using YouTube. We'll cut that out of the podcast. But there you go, YouTube. A little bit just for you.
They're paying for that. They should be.
There is a Patreon account that, as I said last week, that we're getting them on there for free and then hitting with charges
Later
later date.
Excellent.
No one's actually signed up for that yet, but I'm sure they will. Only pennies. I mean, I'm not talking crazy money. Anyway, A to Z of Men for episode D. That's coming up in just a second. Thank you very much for any likes on Instagram that's happened. Bless you, Joe. It's the problem with having the door open.
Yeah.
Joe's literally sneezing.
Diseases.
The hay fever next door. So I can't say that, as we talked about Instagram last week, we've had loads of because obviously, as we've mentioned, we are literally recording this off the back of last week. So we presume that you've all come onto Instagram and look how many there are now. Amazing.
Thanks.
Incredible. Thank you. Right. A Set of Men, episode D is coming up. And we were told that C and D were light and shade.
Yeah.
So we presumed we were going to go clitoris with C. How I wish that had happened.
Yeah.
And then D for depression or...
We couldn't quite find it, so we went with children.
Yeah. But we now expect light.
Yeah.
After
Listen, if it's depression, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, okay. We've done depression before. We've talked a lot about depression, but we'll find out because Joe's going to come in a second with the word for D that our wives have chosen on the A to Z of Men this week. A to Z of Men, and it's the letter D. If you're new to the show, please go back and listen to previous episodes. This season, though, we have our wives choosing the words for us, as they can maybe dig a little bit deeper into our brain as fully worked perfectly last week on the episode, because it's not necessarily a thing I would have just come out to the party with.
No.
So yeah, it works really well. So I'm looking forward with a little bit of trepidation what D is going to be. Okay, Joe is our producer. If you're watching on YouTube, you'll see him enter the studio.
It's going to be Dick.
And do you think it's got to be, hasn't it? Because
You think so?
I've not guessed any of the words yet.
No, I haven't.
Because actually, children wasn't even... We listed 10 words we thought C might be, and not one of the words we thought was children.
Well, didn't we try and do the A to Z of children and failed
A to Z
miserably?
parenting.
Parenting, yeah. Here we go.
This one is falling off again.
Okay,
that's fine.
You don't have a card each today,
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Why?
because you have to read this one first.
Oh. Go.
Am I reading this now?
Yep.
Okay, for the letter D,
What is it?
I'm afraid it's not the light this week.
What?
Your word is... It's not the light this week.
What? Give me that. Oh my God. What?
Death.
I can't do that. I can't do that. How is there light and shade?
Do you reckon children was light? Death.
What? Oh. No, I can't do
How are
it.
we going to talk about what? I've never experienced death myself. I've experienced death around me. I think we covered a lot of that last week. Oh, wow. And there's notes.
Oh. Oh, God. So this is... Oh, no.
Okay. Death, the roller coaster. The funny moments that punctuate the sad moments. Gallows humour is a thing. The dictionary definition, grim and ironic humour in a desperate or hopeless situation. Comic relief elevates the spirit, creates a sense of well-being, and can bring people together. Copious studies show that laughter can boost the immune system and alleviate anxiety. A good chortle can even lower blood pressure. And it could be a sign of intelligence and emotional stability. According to an Austrian study of 156 volunteers published in 2017, those who got the farce among a dozen dark jokes scored higher IQ tests compared to those that didn't.
Right, okay.
Example, Ricky Gervais in Afterlife.
Brilliant.
Some of the funniest scenes ever written in a programme about your wife dying.
Mm.
So that's a really good example, isn't it?
Yeah.
How you can almost laugh in the face of adversity.
Yeah.
From Andrew. Okay. So Andrew's Karen's brother.
Right.
Who lost his wife, which was a massive impact on the whole family, but obviously for Andrew and his girls as well. It was, awful. Andrew says, I think it's very important to see humour in everything, especially huge life changes. It keeps you sane. Karen checked, and Andrew is happy for you to talk about his experience, approach, and extensive use of gallows humour. So Andrew listens to the podcast every week. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, Andrew.
And he will joke about what happens. He will joke about things. He'll mention Caroline was his wife, and he would mention Caroline and will joke about things. You know, she's not here now, blah blah. In a not exactly like that, but in a way that he's entitled to do.
Yeah, of course.
And if that's what helps you get through a situation like that, there's nothing wrong. I would have made somebody laugh on the day of my mum's funeral recently because I like being funny, and you know my mum would have wanted me to be like that. And it will help me get over it. It takes the seriousness away.
You know, it does. And I definitely do it. I mean, like, I've spoken on here about losing people, obviously.
Yours is coming up, mate. Don't worry.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is,
I can read it.
But what I'm saying is, when, like, I've got a bar in my house called Wiggy's Bar. I've called it Wiggy's Bar after Kerry's mum, Sue, who we lost, sadly. And I've called it that because it's a joke, because I used to call her Wiggy Sue. She never wore a wig. I'm just horrible. I'm just like, I used to make fun of her all the time about, oh, you know, Wiggy Sue, you look like you wear a wig. But then I've called my bar it, which is a joking thing to do. But I'm not making light of losing Sue. It's the most horrendous things that have happened to us. But every time I go in that bar, it makes me think of Sue in a funny way.
Yeah.
And there's no darkness there. It's light.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think it's the right thing to do. I think that is right.
And Andrew and his girls, the two girls, his girls are around the same age as the boys and your boys. So that whole family are like that. And I think it's really healthy. It's obviously they're sad. Obviously they've lost their mum, they've lost their wife. I mean, they're in their 40s. So I mean, it wasn't like
it's terrible.
It's awful and unbearable to think of that happening. But for Andrew, it did happen, and life does go on, and things are still funny. And as you come out of that initial shock, those sort of funny moments start to sneak back into your life. I had this with Bobby that I talked about last week. At that very time, I turned the radio on and something made me laugh. Johnny Vaughan made me laugh. But that's because laughter still exists and humour still exists. And if something you found funny before, you'll still find it funny again.
And you've got to stop beating yourself up about, because Kerry will do it. Kerry will have a good night.
Yeah.
And she has fun. And then I watch her mood change when she feels guilty for having that fun.
Yeah.
And then she cries because how dare she enjoy herself. And
guilt.
Yeah. And it's like, well, no, you've got, like, your mum, and I say to her all the time, your mum wouldn't want this for you. Like your mum, like life and soul of the party. Like Sue's funeral song is Sandstorm by Drew.
So let me just read the next bit. Scott, we all smiled when those first few notes of Sandstorm played at Sue's funeral and the wake went on till 6 a.m.
Yeah, it did. And we walking out to Sandstorm when you've just, gone to the hardest funeral you've ever been to. I sang at that funeral.
You did?
Yeah.
I still don't know how you did.
No, I don't. But walking out to Sandstorm, chuckling, thinking, what the fuck? Like, this is, and Kerry said, like, if this wasn't one of her mum's favourite songs, she'd find the song really annoying. Because it's a, but it reminds me every time it's played, and I've played it on the radio, and I've had a moment where I've cried on the radio, and you could see that the second Sue's name was mentioned, then I well up, and cause it's still so raw, and it's still so emotional, and I've said it loads of times, and I'm sure Kerry won't mind me saying it, like, she's never been the same since. Like, she's never, ever been the same. And I don't think she ever will be the same. Is she still incredible, and is she still the woman I met? Absolutely. Like, I wouldn't, but part of Kerry also left us that day when Sue left us. And so that version of my wife doesn't exist anymore. She's there, but she'll always have this void in her for losing her mum and losing her dad at such a young age, and that part of you would have died the day that Bobby
100%,
and I find the whole thing really, really difficult, and I have spoken about this before, but like that point when you lose somebody that you love. But like, I have guilt about my mum and dad still being here, which is a mental thing to say. But like, so I've been with Kerry forever, right? So and Kerry's, she's so young. She's only 42, Kerry, and she's lost both of her parents already. Like years ago, like Pete left us 9 years ago, and so it's coming up to 6 years. Like, so in the space of 9 years, she lost both parents. Fucking horrendous. And like, so like Father's Day, Mother's Day, they're sad times for Kerry. And like, but I've got like my mum, my dad, like still here. And I do feel I feel guilty that I'm so lucky to still have both of my parents, and you've lost both of your parents. Like, it's horrendous. But, and I try my hardest to be there for Kerry, and I have been. I hope she knows that I've, done everything I can to support her in what's been a terrible, terrible time. But yeah, I will make, like, I'll make fun of everyone, dead or alive. Like, I mean, I've made jokes to you, like, recently about things, because I think you've got to take the edge off sometimes.
Yeah.
And like Pete, who we lost, like, he was the like craziest bloke I've ever met. Like,
this is Kerry's dad.
Kerry's dad. He's mental in a good way. Absolutely. You've met Pete. He's crackers, wasn't he? And when we go to visit his garden, I go, "You all right, crazy Pete?" Like, I talk to him, and I talk to Sue, and I go, I go without Kerry. I go down to the garden and I have a drink with Sue, and I talk to her, and I laugh and joke there. People must think I'm mental.
Do you think that is just almost therapeutic? Because whether or not you actually believe that person is listening and guiding you, the fact you're there is because you've got something you need to talk on. You've got something that's within you that you need to express, and it might be something that you think, I can't really take this to Kerry. I'm not sure Brooksy's really the right person, but actually I'm just gonna, but if Sue was alive, this would definitely be the person that I would go and talk to about this problem. And now that isn't the case. You just still find it comforting to sit where not she is, but her place.
Yeah.
And to have that conversation because it helps you unravel what it is you're trying to unravel just by, in the same way as therapy.
No, 100%. And like Sue was one of the first people, like a lot of people haven't got the relationship that I had with my mother-in-law. Very, very lucky to have, she was a wonderful, wonderful woman to the point where when me and Kerry would have an argument, normally the last person that the man's going to go and see and talk to, you know, and say, gosh, she's doing my fucking nutting, Sue, blah, blah. You'd never be your mother-in-law because they're going to go, how dare you talk about my daughter like that? Da, da, da. Not Sue.
It's the first place you went, wasn't it?
First place I went. Because what she would do is put me in my place if I was in the wrong. She would go, no, you're bang out of order. You need to apologise to Kerry. That's terrible. And I would go, right, got it, understood. Flip side of that, I would go round there and go, Kerry's done this, it's really annoyed me, blah, blah, I've had a row, we've had a row, da, da, da. And she would go, she's bang out of order. She didn't take sides. She took the right side every time. And I try and do that. I try and, like, I do that with you. I do that with you and Karen. If you come to me and went, oh, I cheated on Karen, don't tell her.
She's really miserable about it.
Yeah, no, but I would go, you're a prick, mate. And I would, like, I just think that you've got to be on the right side of the who's in the right. And so, and I still do that now. And it maybe some people listening will think that's really weird, but I will guarantee, and I've done it a million times, I will either go to Sue's garden and go, me and Karen, we had a great night last night, it was or I'll go there I used to go there on the way home from doing the podcast or the way home from doing the radio show. And say me and Kerry had a silly argument about something. I'd go, do you know what, Sue? She's doing my fucking nutting. And I can almost hear her talking back to me going, don't worry about it, don't rise to it. She gave me the best advice when she was here. I still, in a weird way, still feel like she's guiding me.
Yeah,
now.
I feel like that about my dad and more recently with my mum. I've never been back to where my dad was cremated. I've never gone back there. I've never got anything from it. Weirdly, I don't know whether it's because it was cremation, because my grandparents were buried, and I'll often go and see my grandparents in Watford. When I'm in Watford, I'll often go and I will sit and chat and do all that. But with my dad, because he was cremated, I don't know why, but psychologically it just feels a bit different. But recently with my mum, and because they were both in the same area, my mum is now in the same garden as my dad. I'm not sure how she'd feel about that. They split up when I was 7.
Yeah,
brother's idea. But I probably, and then my brother said, do you want to go to where Dad's place is? Do you want to have a look? And I said, yeah, okay. And he went, because Mum's going to be there as well. It's not because it wasn't anything to do with shutting anything away. No. I just didn't. Yeah. I talk to my dad all the time.
But you just didn't need to go, because some people don't.
Know, if I want to talk to my dad, I get a pint of Guinness and I'll go and play darts.
Yeah.
Because that's what me and my dad did.
Yeah.
So I will just do that if I want to talk to my dad. But I thought I'll have a look. And it was really gorgeous. It was lovely. And it's not necessarily because of where he is or where his ashes are. And they do say, you know, when we've done the ashes, there's probably other people in this as well. It's like, it's not just, we can't guarantee these are the ashes. So it's more of a focal point, isn't it? It's more of a place you go to, and this place is beautiful. It's a beautiful garden. So I think I will go there. And then I know my mum's there and my dad's there. And I think I will go down there.
Yeah, but we don't call it, we don't go to the graveyard. Like it's not called the graveyard. We go to the garden.
Yeah, that's what it's a focal point.
Yeah, and it's she's everywhere anyway. She's just close to us, you know, whatever you believe.
That's how I feel. That's why I wasn't trying to belittle it. I just never saw the point of driving 2 hours down to Eastbourne to talk to my mum when I could literally just talk to my mum.
Well, yeah, but on Father's Day we went to Pete's garden and we sat there and some people won't get this, but so I had a beer with Pete, and I bought it because he was tight as arse.
Cheap round.
Yeah, no, but I put a beer with him, and I even said to go. I said, Don't leave it here. He's not going to drink it. I'll drink it. It's one of my favourite bits. I was like, I'll drink it. And Kerry laughed at and she said, oh no, my dad would be livid if there was a full beer left to go to waste. You're going to have to drink it. So I was like, result. So I drank that. But
cheers, Pete.
Yeah, but it's different with Sue.
Yeah.
We have to leave Sue a full drink. She'd go fucking mental if you took her drink.
Yeah.
So it's different. But we go and have a drink with Sue. Like on Christmas Day, we'll go, you know, and people go, oh, isn't it morbid? It's not, you know. We sit, we put a blanket out and chat. It's
As a family.
Yeah.
Chris, talk about that time you switched Johnny Vaughan. I've done this. We covered Johnny Vaughan last week. So that was, I've mentioned it again this week. So on sheer escapism. And that's literally what it was. It was a little bit of my brain that hadn't been succumbed by everything else that tuned in and went, that's funny, what he said. Yeah. I can still remember what he said as well. And I think I've mentioned this on a podcast before because you might have wondered what would make somebody laugh in a hideous situation. And I've definitely told you this on the podcast before, but he had Lewis Hamilton in. And Lewis Hamilton was talking about his relationship with Nicole Scherzinger. And he said, Johnny Vaughan said to him, I remember this like it was yesterday. I remember the whole thing like it was yesterday, but this bit I remember. He said to Lewis Hamilton, so what's the typical date night with you and Nicole Scherzinger? And Lewis Hamilton, who comes from Stevenage, said, oh, last night I drove her around Stevenage to have a look around the area I grew up in. And without even breathing, Johnny says, is that the fastest you've ever driven? I mean, that's fucking genius.
Yeah.
Which always used to annoy me with Johnny Vaughan because he could just do that.
Yeah.
You know, when we've listened back to shows and you've gone, why didn't I just say that? Then that would have been hilarious.
Yeah.
And we think about it 3 hours later. Johnny Vaughan had the ability to just do it there and then in the moment. Is that the fastest you've ever driven? To Lewis Hamilton because of Stevenage. The whole thing was perfect.
Yeah.
So in that split second of what I'd left in the hospital and what I'd just seen and witnessed, and it made me laugh.
Yeah.
And I'm not guilty about it because it's human nature.
Part of you also would have thought, I wish I'd
thought that.
Yeah.
But yes, it was. Yeah. So that to me was a bit of escapism and how humour pulled me out of a bit of a funk. It's probably an understatement. For some pretty shit times. Also, Chris, the night before your mum's funeral at the Indian. Yeah, so we went for an Indian. So everybody that came to my mum's funeral, this is quite fresh. This was like 3 weeks ago. We all met at Eastbourne and we all went out for an Indian. And at that Indian was me, my brother, his wife, my ex-girlfriend, who is Kirsty's mum, Kirsty, my two boys, my stepdad, who I haven't seen since I was 16, 17. I've seen him a few times since then, but not many.
Yeah.
God, who else was? My niece was there, Emily. And then there was Karen's mum. So my mother-in-law was there. And her brother Andrew, who I've mentioned already on the podcast, and one of his daughters was there. So there was quite a strange mix of people. Yeah. Karen and my ex-girlfriend get on okay, because obviously with what I said last week, Kirsty's been a part of my life all the way through. So Karen's obviously been part of that as well. And they get on really well. So it was absolutely fine. But we had a laugh. We joked. No, we had a laugh. I had a beer. Quite liked. Had a Kingfisher.
But that's how it should be. I mean, like, I don't know whether surely it's not on the list about what I'm singing at my own funeral. I've told you
You've
this.
told me this before.
I don't know whether I've said
it's not on the sheet.
I want my funeral to be a celebration of my life. Not
don't worry, it will be. A celebration. Of your life. Yeah. No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was going to say. No, that's what I was going to say. A celebration of your life. Yeah, but I just stopped because of the hay fever. It's going to be a celebration of your life.
I want it to be a celebration of my life. I don't want people. I mean, listen, I'll be a little bit sad if no one cries.
Well, you know I'm going to cry. I will definitely be there, front row.
Yeah. Listen, when I say that I don't want you to be sad, I want you to be a little bit sad.
I'll be devastated.
I'm dead.
I'll be devastated.
But
I got the car. I mean, no, because you got a family.
No, you won't.
No, I will be devastated then.
I'll give you my in-ears. Not my new one, not my 5 ones.
I've already got some.
But I'm going to sing Mbop.
I'm already devastated.
I'm going to sing Mbop at my funeral.
Yes, you've told me this.
Yeah.
And that is incredible.
I'm going to record it
obviously.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not sure how that would work.
I'm gonna record it. And
is there anybody there? There he is.
But I am going to record Bop, and people think I'm mad, and people go, "Oh yeah, of course you are. You know me well enough to know that."
Oh no, I know that's going to happen.
Yeah, and I'm going to be.
I'm older than you though, so hopefully I won't have to be.
But I'm like, no, you can, but you don't know. And I mean, have you seen that? This is genius. Have you? If you've not seen it, please go on YouTube and type this in. Have you seen the guy who he put a recording device in the coffin with him? His family got his family to do it. Wrote a note, blah blah. So in the coffin, when he's being lowered down, he's going, "Let me out!" I mean, that's fucking.
What's a cruel bastard?
Yeah, that's genius. He's going, "Let me out! You've made a mistake. I'm still alive." Like that's my.
What's the film where the man leaves her instructions on? Is it voice notes or diaries?
Oh yeah, is it called P.S. I Love You?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's too hard.
Yeah,
that's hard. Because I always wonder why that doesn't. Oh yeah. So the other day, I was going through my voice notes. There's one from my mum.
Oh.
So I'm not going to talk about it because it'll just end up like last week.
Yeah.
But I can't delete it.
No.
What's the Benson Boone song? He says,
Sunday morning.
Yeah, that song. Favorite. Yeah, but on the second verse, he talks about finding an old crumpled card and inside was an old crumpled £20 note. I don't know if I could ever find a way to spend it, even if it was the last 20 that I had.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Even if that's 20 that I got.
If anyone's a Benson, if you like Benson Boone because you hear it every 3 songs on the radio and you're like, I like Benson Boone, beautiful things, beautiful, all of them really good. I can't listen to it at the moment for obvious reasons because of my mum. But there's a song called, what's it called? Embers and
Joe, find it.
Benson Boone. Is it called? It's not called In the End, is it?
No.
It's a really.
On to everything that's dead and gone. Now you're in stars. In the stars.
In the stars. It's called In the Stars. Benson Boone. Yeah, have a listen to it. Lyrically,
six that never felt so far away.
Yeah. I have heard it since my mum's funeral, and it's it is an amazing song.
I agree that you've got to, because if you spend all of your time whilst you're still on this earth and you're still living, right, and you're constantly sad because you're missing the person that you love that's passed away, which is tragic and horrible, you're not living your life. You're almost. I actually think it's negative because they can't live their life.
It's almost disrespectful.
Yeah, you need to live your life to the fullest.
Yeah,
because they can't.
Yeah,
and and someone that I mean, obviously, I lost my nan and both my granddads, and I never knew my dad's mum. She died when I was really young. I think I was, I don't know, I might have been less than 1 when my dad's mum passed away. But obviously I was young. I was very young, and even was quite young when my granddad and that went. But like, I remember, I just smile when I remember the things that they taught me. And like, I remember when I went and stayed up at my nan and granddad's when I was, in the National Youth Music Theatre, and I was doing shows and stuff. And I just remember fondly, the experiences I had there. And I laugh when my food phobia comes from my nan, because she made me, well, it comes from my granddad, because she made me a tuna sandwich, and my granddad swapped one out and gave me one with mayonnaise in it, salad cream in it. And I can't now even look at that. So I, instead of being sad about losing them, I remember the fond times. But like, I get sad when I think of losing our manager, Bob Herbert.
Well, he was like a father figure to you. Not taking anything away from your dad. No, but looking after you in the band. He was the one that looked after you.
Well, because we got put together by the same people that put the Spice Girls together. Safe Management, Bob Herbert and Chris Herbert. I'm still really, really close with Chris now. And I when I speak to Chris, I always speak about Bob, because I had my moments with Bob where I shouted at him, and I remember smashing up the fax machine that he had bought, because he was trying to get me to go to work. What a wanker. Do you know what I mean? Trying to get me to go to work and loads of money. But I remember how much he helped me. I got this bond with him where I would say to him, any chance of a day off on the 15th of June because it's Kerry's birthday, like if it's anything, couldn't wangle it. And because of our relationship, because I put that extra effort in with him, we used to go for walks and chats and stuff, and he confided in me about stuff that in his private life that I won't go into detail about, but like we had a really close bond, and he'd go the extra mile to he'd get me out of work early and get me to Kerry's party or whatever. And I often think, especially now I'm back in the band doing what I'm doing, I often think Bob would be really proud, like really, really proud. You know, and it's a difficult one because obviously Chris, he's probably got a tinge of sadness that he's not part of, you know, we've gone in a different direction management wise, but he's been so gracious with it that, and he said how proud he is. And I often think that Bob would be really proud of that. So I sort of honour their lives more than I cry. Yeah.
And that, I think, is what we're supposed to do. I think, you know, my dad was quite Buddhist in his beliefs, so he would have thought he was moving on to a next life, an afterlife, and the bit where he was here was a journey. And he'd say to me, and I've heard this on a podcast recently, I think Jimmy Carr talked about this on Diary of a CEO, but you've because people are what
he's a very profound guy, isn't he?
Jimmy Carr. Yeah. I mean, we're not here to plug other people's podcasts. If you want to just see Jimmy Carr in a completely different light, Diary of a CEO with Jimmy Carr is 2 hours of wow. I mean, he's a very
intelligent.
Yeah, he's very intelligent, but he's emotionally intelligent. He was talking about death, and he was basically saying that somebody had said to him once that, you know, I'm worried about death, which, yeah, we do. I worry about death. I think that the health anxiety will be a fear of death. That's what it will come down to. But he was saying that before you were born, it was just billions of years of dark blackness, and it didn't bother you because you don't remember what it was like pre-1979. No. You wouldn't know. When I was born in 71, you didn't exist. No. So you don't remember 19. So you're not sitting there going, oh, it was horrible. It's just dark. You don't, I don't know. I was asleep. I don't know. And that's the same either side. And he described it because of however long you think the Earth's been going, billions of years or 2,000 years or whatever, that there's this black one end, black the other end, and then this beautiful slither of light down the middle. And that's where we are right now. And also the fact that in that slither of light, there is not a better time to be here. Now, you can look at the news and you can look at Israel, Iran and Ukraine and the Palestine. You can look at all of the different things that would go, hang on, it's a pretty shit world. Yes, it is. Yeah. But if you look at where we are in that moment, the world has never been as more advanced as it is right now as I'm speaking. No. We are literally the furthest we've ever gone right now while I'm speaking. So you have further now. Even further now. And in fact, when you're listening to this, you're in the future, which is incredible. But what I'm trying to say is that we've got everything that we could possibly want. We don't have to go and hunt and gather and look at animals to kill to eat. We can go to Tesco's or Sainsbury's.
I've heard him say it, and he's a very intelligent man.
But that is life, isn't it? It's this little slither of life. There might be something afterwards. There might not be. We don't know. So we might as well just, rather than worrying about that, just live the one there is actually here now, because we are actually in the life now.
I watched something this morning and I saved it, but I won't be allowed to play it on here because it would be copywritten or whatever. But there's this guy, and the way he describes two babies before birth. Yeah. And the one baby says to the other baby, do you think there's life after delivery? And one baby says, of course there's not. And it's this amazing. Oh, wow. Because we're on this earth now, and I'm going to play it to you after, Chris.
Oh, that's incredible.
And so these babies, so that's
they're just in the womb. This is their world.
This is their world. So, and then one baby's going, no, I think we'll use our legs. And we'll see mother for the first time.
It should be like God.
No, exactly. You'll be mesmerised by it, and because we're so ignorant to think that. I mean, and listen, everyone has different beliefs, and everyone's entitled to whatever they believe. And I don't.
That's powerful.
Yeah, but I don't know what I believe. But what I do know is when I listen to this thing, I listened to it this morning, and I saved it. So I wanted
absolutely blown my mind.
Yeah, because he said, and then the other baby says, but this can't be it. We'll get to see Mother. No, if you shut your eyes now, you can hear her. It's incredible. We'll eat with our mouths. No, we have to eat with this cord. This is
because that's all they know, and this is all we know.
Yeah,
and we could be quite oblivious to the fact that there is something very obvious to come.
Yeah,
that they are looking at, going, how do they not see that we're going to go to that bit next?
Well, yeah, because like when I'm talking to Bob, or when I'm talking to Sue, or when I'm talking to my granddad, or whatever, I always say it. So I say I don't know what I believe in, but maybe that's just the stubbornness to not fully believe. But
no, because I
don't know. Do I don't know. I can't be sure.
Yeah.
But for me, me and my dad play cards every Tuesday if I'm not working, and I love it. Right, he comes round, and my dad's one of my favourite people, and when he comes round, we play Kaluki, a game called Kaluki, 2 sets of cards, and it's a great game. And his dad, Frank, was brilliant at cards, brilliant at dominoes, brilliant at games. I get that from
and your
from
competitive
him.
streak comes from that as well.
But if my dad wins a hand, which isn't often, I beat him all the fucking time, he goes, my dad's just turned up. And my dad's not a big believer in anything like that. My dad's just turned up, and we'll joke, and I go, fucking hell, Granddad, can you go for a nap? I was beating him before you turned up. And we truly believe in our own little way that Granddad Frank's up there helping my dad play cards to beat me, because he's sick. He's giving my dad the edge that he needs to beat me.
Yeah.
And that gives us, we have a laugh about it. We have a chuckle about it, because it's a better way to think, isn't it? That he's up there, if you've got someone who's been poorly, and like your mum, for example, I know it's very raw now, but it's very, very raw. She only just passed away a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
But she was in a home with no
quality of
life.
Yeah.
And imagine she's up there now, and she's back to, she ain't got no aches and pains anymore. She hasn't got dementia. She hasn't got any of those things.
It's nice. It is nice to think like that. And quoting somebody else, I can't remember who said it, but I heard somebody say this week. So if it was you and you want to mention, tell me, and I'll mention you. But somebody on another podcast said that when he was asked what he believed in, he said, I believe in anything that I haven't disproved. Because I don't know.
Yeah.
If I haven't disproved it, then it
might be true.
It might be there. Just a couple of other points on here that they wanted us to briefly touch. What's the best support you've received around losing someone, or what's the best thing you can do to help somebody who's just lost somebody? I've literally just been in that situation, and to be honest, everybody helped me. You helped me with my mum. Karen was a rock next to me at the funeral. I was a blubbering wreck.
Yeah.
As people now know, I'm cry. I was a wreck. My Harry was really, I told the story when I came out, Harry was there with his arms open. My eldest son just grabbed me and held me. And I was like, wow, okay, people love me. And that's such a nice, warm feeling. So I think for me, it was my family and friends that were there to help me through it. But weirdly, I think my mum helped me through my mum's funeral as well, because of the way she brought me up and the way I am as a person. I think she made me quite an open person to accept love from other people, which gave me the tools I needed to deal with her funeral, which makes it weird.
I think the advice I would give you, just be emotionally available for someone. And yet again, I can't remember exactly who said this, but I think it was even today or yesterday I heard this. Something like everyone only needs 7 minutes. You need to reach out to someone for 7 minutes for them to know that you're there for them. And not 7 minutes every day. Just so if I haven't spoken to you for a week, I've got 7 minutes, right? So even if that's 7 minutes texting or 7 minutes just making that phone call.
Yeah.
Because you've got everyone's got fucking 7 minutes.
Yeah.
And that 7 minutes will keep someone going for a really long time. They know that you're there.
It means a lot more than 7 minutes to them.
Yeah.
It'll last a lot longer.
So instead of, so I can't remember who it is that said, but what he does is he writes, if he needs someone, instead of writing, are you about for a chat? Because what it was a podcast I was listening to, and the guy said, she said, his girlfriend said, I reached for you last week and you didn't help me. And he said, what, these messages where you're just talking, they're just normal messages. I need to know that you're struggling. And so now he just says, have you got 7 minutes?
Yeah, that's really nice.
Because, and I see a friend today that I hadn't seen for a while, my mate Wayne. And I'm like, I should call him more because I've got fucking 7 minutes. There's no way that you can't make 7 minutes for someone that you love.
Yeah. Are you more afraid of dying or someone you love dying? To me, someone I love dying.
Someone, yeah. Because
I'm not going to know about dying.
No, because, I losing someone.
Yeah.
I've got no fear of dying myself. I mean, the only fear that I'd have is leaving my loved ones behind and leaving my kids behind without a dad. But, I mean, listen, like, yeah, it's losing a loved one, I don't even want to say it, but like losing someone that close to you, I think it's a destroyer, isn't it? Yeah.
And it says probably leave on some gallows humour, as that would have been quite dark. No, I don't think it was. I don't think it was it wasn't necessarily a dark episode from where I saw the word death.
Yeah.
I thought, oh, really? We kind of covered death last week.
I mean, I don't know, Joe. Like, I'm just thinking, like, we're going to have a week off now, not for you, it'll just carry on seamlessly for you. But like, maybe if, you could have, maybe Joe, have a word with Kerry and Karen.
Yeah.
And if next week's episode is, what is it? ABC E. Like, just have it as something really light.
Yeah. There's two problems with that. One, I don't actually know what it is yet.
He doesn't know.
And two, I'm not. It's part of the rules of season 4. I am not actually allowed to be involved.
What? Yeah, but I might have
their word selection.
I might have to say to Kerry, listen, if your word is like fucking,
what could E be?
Like, well, you know, but by this rule of thumb,
pregnancy.
Yeah, it'll be something really dark.
I don't know. They did. Bum or boobs after affirmation. I think they'll throw in I
fucking hope so.
A funny one next.
Well, do you know what? They're all subjects that we do talk about and think about. And that's the whole point of the A to Z of Men. Death does happen. Yeah. We have to deal with it. Whether it's loved ones, whether it's your own questioning your own mortality. They are things that we think about all the time and we deal with all the time. So we've had an open conversation. Children, we've got children. Yeah. We haven't got children. So it's something we can talk about. Yeah. And I still like boobs.
Yeah.
So I like it. It's just, and I think because we've recorded 2 in a row that have been quite dark.
Definitely going to go for a pint.
Literally feels like the wake after my mum's funeral now. I feel quite like heavy headed and but it's good to talk. And that's why we did the A to Z of Men. And that was episode D. And it was for death, and we're going to lock that away and not talk about it anymore.
Actually, put death in a box, lower it 6 foot underground.
Yeah, done. So episode D was for death into the A to Z of Men, and, you know, hopefully it will pick up next week.
Yeah, with entertainment.
That'd be good. Thank you very much for all your follows on Instagram. If you can keep doing that as well. A to Z of Men pod. That's the big one we want to get, is the Instagram numbers up. So keep us going with that A to Z of Men pod. And time for a name game, which is for the letter D. So we've been given a name, and that name is Davina McCall.
Oh, that's going to be impossible.
But we can use the Mac.
What do you mean?
You can use the Mac. Davina McCall, blah, 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 blah. That's Davina Mac. So you could use the Mac.
Right.
So all your rhyming is cool.
Right.
I'm going to start with an easy one because we're all going to go ball, right? Davina McCall. I'll start then.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Davina McCall loves playing football. That's Davina McBall.
So
you can say Muck, Davina Mac, and then rhyme all.
Right, okay.
Joe, go on. It's Joe next.
Okay.
Oh, okay. So Davina McCall loves to go shopping. That's Davina McMall.
Exactly.
Does that work?
Yeah, that's
Okay,
okay.
Davina McCall, she would like to be the president. That's Davina McRule.
Yeah. Yes, that works. Davina McCall loves the entrance of her house. That's Davina McHall.
Hey.
Yeah.
Davina McCall loves a long room. That's Davina McHall.
We just did
Just
all.
done all.
Literally just done
Just
all.
done all.
You're out, Joe. It's because he's a producer. He's busy producing the show.
Davina McCall.
Yeah.
I'm doing this in a very different spelling. That's Davina McCall.
Because it's cool, hot and cold.
Yeah.
Davina McCall. It's come round to fix the electrics. That's Davina McTool.
Davina McCall, she likes to dress up. That's Davina McShawl.
It's good.
Yeah, it was good, wasn't it?
Davina McCall, she believes in ghosts. That's Davina McGall.
Okay. Davina McCall, she wants to change her sex. That would be Davina McPaul,
Okay.
as in Paul.
Yeah.
Paul.
So I can also go with Davina McCall. She likes to open doors. That's Davina McPaul. Different Paul.
Yeah.
Oh,
Davina McCall, she's very clumsy. That's Davina McFall.
Davina McCall. She's a headmistress. That's Davina McSchool. No,
I don't think
you
so.
can't do that because you got caught out on one of those last week.
Yeah.
Well done. Another
I
winner
won
for you.
again?
Yeah, Davina McCall is a winning name for Scots on the A to Z of Men name game.
And we've had her on our podcast.
She's been on the podcast, yes.
Yeah, she has.
And I only remembered that the other day because somebody at the radio station I work for is interviewing Davina McCall. And they were like, what's she like? I said, I'd imagine she's... And then I went, hang on a minute. I've
She's
interviewed her.
lovely, yeah.
She's lovely.
Yeah.
She laughed at one of my jokes. Do you remember? She laughed out loud.
Don't remember. Don't remember.
So if you want to find that episode, I'm sure it's somewhere on the A to Z of Men. I can't remember what the letter was. Was it Holidays? It was Holidays.
Yeah, Holidays,
It was Holidays. I think season 2 or season 3. Davina was our guest. Right. A to Z of Men back again next week. Back, of course, on Thursday with the bonus episode of this podcast. And then back again on Monday in a week's time with the letter E. Hopefully we'll bring it up a little bit. I don't know, because I run out of tissues and everything. So thank you so much for having us on. As I said earlier, it was, it's quite sincere. If you want to email us, feel free. Either of us, if you've got specific, you can email us to tell us how great it is. That's fine.
Yeah, we'd
But
like
if,
that as
if
well.
there's any, advice you need, or you think we've lived an experience that you're going through at the moment, and we can help, that is what the email is for. Chris and Scott UK @gmail.com, and we'll see you again in a week's time.
See you later.